There's a really significant reason behind why Nucleus Vision has generated so much interest in the cryptocurrency community, and I think in part this is due to the plan that they have, and it's sort of really laying down a foundation that's going to set up really a new paradigm when it comes to retail. I'd say retail is one of those spaces that's desperately in need of an overhaul, and making this potential known, it's really interesting to see how they're leveraging what's happening right now involving the conversation that's happening involving data, and the fact that right now we're seeing this movement towards consumer public that's more conscious of its data. And I think the fact that they're leveraging the technology made possible by cryptocurrencies and applying this to a membership program, I'm certainly excited to see the potential that's in store for Nucleus Vision. I think anybody who's been involved with cryptocurrency for any amount of years sees the potential, as we've seen a lot happen with Bitcoin and so forth. But I think the next stage is going to be the technologies that actually have a fundamental real world use. And I think Nucleus Vision is a prime example of that. I often get asked on places like Twitter and the YouTube comments section questions about the general future of cryptocurrency and how I see the development of society and how this is going to collaborate with the cryptocurrency revolution as things continue to be implemented step by step. One of the fundamental things that's always gotten my interest is the Internet of Things. The fact of the matter is that, well, at the same time, we're seeing people all around the world connecting to the internet through smartphones, people in developing countries taking advantage of this simple technology that fits in your pocket. At the same time this is happening, which is really big for cryptocurrency as a total, there's even bigger thing that's happening, which is everyday household appliances and objects being connected to the internet in much the same way that we saw cell phones being connected to the internet. This is including and not limited to microwaves, cars, and a huge variety of smart grills, and this whole multitude of technologies that are in really about to rise up in the year of 2019, 2020, and beyond, really, because it's an unprecedented thing, really, what's happening right now. And we're witnessing the internet develop into something that was really never thought to be possible up until the current paradigm shift that we're experiencing. And right along with it, we're going to see the trends that we witnessed happening in 2017, the trends that we've been seeing up until this point that have helped grow cryptocurrency to the point where it is today. And there's always new leaps and bounds that are made possible by these technologies. So when I think about these cryptocurrencies on this list of on CoinMarketCap, I think about the top 100 cryptocurrencies, for example, something like Litecoin and these various different technologies which seek to replace the United States dollar. They seek to replace the euro. They seek to replace the yen. There's one fundamental flaw, and that's when you go into a Starbucks, how many people are actually using Litecoin to buy a coffee? The fact of the matter is that these currencies that have already established themselves really have a domination over the space as it currently stands when it comes to the public. Now, I'm not knocking Litecoin, although I will criticize LitePay. But of course, there's a lot of different developments that we need to see. But of course, what people fail to realize, because I think that ultimately people treat cryptocurrencies like stocks. They fail to realize that these technologies, what I like to think about is what these are going to be looking like in the real world. I think about 5 years from now when these things are up and running, where will we actually be seeing these variables coming together and coming into into play in regards to the greater contribution that cryptocurrencies has to bring to the space. And of course, we look at the market cap where it is right now at 333. And of course, there's a lot of different, but of course, when I pay attention to Nucleus Vision, it's doing something that's exempt from the criticism that I gave to Litecoin in the regard of the Internet of Things is basically free from the limitations of the spaces that are already dominated to a large extent, because it's a completely new paradigm. It's a completely new space and a completely new opportunity. So there's a high degree of probability that is projected in regards to the success of potential of Nucleus Vision. When you take into consideration, it's currently in the top 200 in the number 137 position. I would say that Nucleus Vision is pretty due to rise up and probably overtake some more of these cryptocurrencies. And I could easily see Nucleus Vision as being a top 100 cryptocurrency. As things continue to develop, it's certainly within the realm of possibility that an Internet of Things crypto would have that sort of leverage in the competition in regards to how we've been seeing these things developing and progressing and moving forward. And of course, it's interesting to see the various different deals that are being struck with Nucleus Vision. And I think that there is real potential for Nucleus Vision to be that international connection that is essentially able to bring us in and move us forward into the next stage in the paradigm shift that's happening alongside these various different potentials that are made possible through all these various different levels of technology that are making this future possible. So when it comes to Nucleus Vision, it's definitely interesting when you take into consideration how they're targeting the retail space, because I like to talk about the fact that retail is really one of those spaces that's desperately in need of a complete and total overhaul. Now, it's the way that we had been seeing retail functioning up until this point is slowly but surely approaching its end, and we can clearly see that these companies like Toys R Us and these huge companies, even Walmart, are taking hits from Amazon. A lot of them are going out of business. These these retail outlets need to find a way to leverage data and really put themselves into the future. So when it comes to a technology like Nucleus Vision providing that sort of opportunity, with the rise of alongside, we're starting to see lately these Amazon stores without any workers in them, and of course this sort of Nucleus Vision idea of basically connecting that data that is made available, it's definitely forward thinking, and I think that there's definitely a lot of potential in store for Nucleus Vision with that line of development. So as we see things continue to progress, it is interesting to see how the community that has gathered around Nucleus Vision has expanded to this point. I think it really definitely does have a strong presence across various different social media platforms, and I would say that as we see the rise in this sort of internet-based way of doing things, we're definitely going to see a lot of renewed interest in these sort of technologies. So it's definitely one that I would recommend paying attention to, especially in the developing context of cryptocurrency as we currently see it. I think that we're definitely in due, but of course, obviously, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. And remember, I'm not your dad. But all that being said, I would definitely recommend that you guys follow Nucleus Vision on their Twitter, just because Twitter is a really great resource for staying up to date and in the know when it comes to cryptocurrencies. Knowledge is always very useful. So in the spirit of providing I'd always recommend that you guys would go and find your information from the source, and don't let any YouTuber tell you what's good when it comes to cryptocurrencies. But yeah, all that being said, I think that it is interesting. I have a very optimistic perspective moving forward. And if you guys are interested in connecting with us, I'll actually be including a link to the Twitter in the description. We actually have a new Twitter that we're being more active on, more of a community-based approach. And in the spirit of sharing everybody's opinions, make sure that you send us any information that you have that you find interesting on Twitter. And yeah, all that being said, we're actually going to be including a link to this video as well, because I think that it's important to hear everybody different perspectives. And I found this video was very useful. So if you guys are interested in hearing an interesting perspective on Nucleus Vision, definitely something that I would recommend giving some attention to. But yeah, I think we definitely do have to pay attention to Bitcoin. We have to pay attention to the way that the public consciousness has been shifting in accordance with the multitude of variables happening across the board. But ultimately, when we look at the news involving Nucleus Vision, we definitely, when I think about the Nucleus Vision roadmap, I think that there is a lot of potential in store for it. But all that being said, you guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this content, and I will see you guys in the next video. And remember to subscribe to the channel, and of course comment down below letting me know what you think about Nucleus Vision, and I'll see you guys in the next content. Have a good one.